This case involves a deeply disturbing allegation of familial violence. At its center is the tragic death of a young man. The victim has been identified as Rae'quan Smith. He was just 20 years old at the time of his passing. The suspects in this case are identified as Deashia Smith and Elton Hightower. Their alleged involvement paints a grim picture. Deashia Smith is the victim's sister. She's only 17 years old, adding another layer of complexity and sorrow to this event. Elton Hightower is described as an alleged accomplice in the crime. His connection to the family or the motive remains a critical part of the investigation. Both Deashia Smith and Elton Hightower have been apprehended by law enforcement. Their arrests mark a significant development in the case. Both individuals are facing serious charges. They have both been charged with second-degree murder in connection with Rae'quan Smith's death. The allegations suggest a level of violence within a family unit that is profoundly unsettling. This case demands a thorough examination of the circumstances. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The incident that led to Rae'quan Smith's death occurred on February 7th of this year. The date is etched into the timeline of this tragedy. The location of the shooting was the Naranja area. This is a community situated in southwest Miami-Dade County. The incident itself involved gunfire. Reports indicate a violent confrontation took place. Deputies from the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office responded swiftly. They were dispatched to the scene, following reports of shots fired in the area. Upon arrival, investigators discovered multiple shell casings. These were found scattered at the scene, indicating that numerous shots were discharged. Rae'quan Smith sustained multiple gunshot wounds. The severity of his injuries was immediately apparent. The victim was transported away from the scene. He was taken to a local hospital by two males present at the time. Despite efforts to save him, Rae'quan Smith tragically succumbed to his injuries. His life was cut short by the violence. The official cause of death was determined. It was a gunshot wound to the torso, confirming the fatal nature of the attack. The immediate aftermath of the shooting was chaotic. The focus quickly shifted from the scene to the hospital and the grim reality of the outcome. The presence of multiple shell casings suggested more than one shot was fired. This detail would become crucial as the investigation unfolded. The fact that Rae'quan was transported by individuals rather than first responders is a detail noted in reports. It speaks to the immediate response of those present. His death marked the beginning of a homicide investigation. Law enforcement began the painstaking process of piecing together what happened. The community was left grappling with the violence. A young life was lost in their neighborhood. Understanding the full scope of the incident required diligent police work. The initial scene provided critical, albeit incomplete, information. The focus turned to identifying who was responsible. The evidence at the scene was the starting point for detectives. The nature of the injuries sustained by Rae'quan underscored the brutality of the attack. Multiple shots were fired, one proving fatal. This tragic event unfolded rapidly. From the sound of gunfire to the victim's transport and eventual death, the timeline was compressed and devastating. The investigation into Rae'quan Smith's death was conducted by the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. Homicide detectives took the lead on this complex case. Their diligent investigation began immediately. It involved collecting physical evidence, canvassing the area, and seeking witnesses. The initial stages of the investigation led to the identification of potential suspects. Information gathered pointed towards specific individuals. Deashia Smith was arrested on March 10th. This was approximately a month after the shooting occurred. At the time of her initial arrest, Deashia Smith was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This charge stemmed from her being found with a weapon. A critical step in the investigation involved forensic analysis. The firearm found in Deashia Smith's possession underwent detailed examination. The results of the forensic analysis were significant. The firearm was forensically linked to the crime scene where Rae'quan was shot. Further analysis determined that this firearm was one of two weapons used in the killing. This established a direct connection between Deashia and the homicide. Investigators also obtained a sworn statement from Deashia Smith's mother. This statement provided crucial insight into the events. According to the mother's statement, Deashia admitted something significant. She told her mother she was in a car with Elton Hightower when shots were fired. This admission placed Deashia at the scene with the alleged accomplice. It corroborated other information detectives were gathering. In addition to the mother's statement, a witness provided information to the police. This witness account offered a direct perspective on the shooting. The witness claimed to have seen both Elton Hightower and Deashia Smith firing weapons. This statement directly implicated both suspects in the act of shooting. The witness further stated that they saw Hightower and Smith firing at Rae'quan. They then allegedly fled the scene after the shooting. This witness testimony provided a powerful account of the events. It aligned with the physical evidence found at the scene, including the multiple shell casings. Elton Hightower was apprehended later in the investigation. His arrest occurred on May 21st, several months after the incident. Investigators utilized various techniques to locate Hightower and connect him to the crime. This included the use of modern technology. Specifically, detectives used cell phone data. This data helped track Hightower's movements around the time of the shooting. The cell phone data connected Hightower directly to the scene of the crime. This provided further evidence supporting his alleged involvement. Based on the totality of the evidence, detectives reached a conclusion. They determined that both Deashia Smith and Elton Hightower discharged firearms at the victim. This determination was supported by the forensic evidence and witness accounts. It painted a picture of a coordinated attack. Detectives confirmed that the gun recovered from Deashia Smith was utilized in the homicide. This forensic link was a key piece of evidence against her. The investigation built a case based on multiple converging pieces of evidence. Forensic analysis, witness testimony, and digital data all pointed towards the suspects. The alleged familial connection between the victim and one of the suspects added a layer of complexity to the motive. Investigators likely explored the dynamics within the family. The timeline of the arrests reflects the progression of the investigation. Deashia was arrested earlier, likely after the firearm link was established, while Hightower's apprehension came later as more evidence solidified. The evidence suggests a deliberate act. The use of multiple firearms and the witness account of them firing at Rae'quan support this conclusion. The case highlights the critical role of forensic science in modern investigations. Linking the firearm to the scene was a pivotal moment. It also underscores the importance of witness cooperation and family statements. These human elements provided context and direct accounts. The use of cell phone data demonstrates how technology aids law enforcement. It can place individuals at critical locations at specific times. The combined weight of this evidence led to the charges now faced by the suspects. The investigation built a strong foundation for the prosecution. As a result of the investigation and the evidence gathered, both suspects face significant charges. They are both charged with second-degree murder with a deadly weapon. This charge indicates the state believes the killing was not premeditated but occurred during the commission of a dangerous act. The deadly weapon enhancement reflects the use of firearms. In addition to the murder charge, Deashia Smith also faces the charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This charge stems from her prior criminal history and possession of the weapon. Both Deashia Smith and Elton Hightower are currently in custody. They remain incarcerated as the legal process unfolds. They are being held at the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. This is a major detention facility in Miami-Dade County. They are currently awaiting further legal proceedings. This includes arraignment, potential bond hearings, and the progression towards trial or plea negotiations. The legal journey for both suspects is just beginning. The charges are severe, and the evidence presented by the prosecution will be scrutinized. The case will move through the court system. This involves appearances before a judge, discovery of evidence by both sides, and potentially pre-trial motions. The defense for both individuals will have the opportunity to challenge the evidence. They will work to build their case and represent their clients' interests. The victim's family awaits justice. The legal process is often lengthy and emotionally taxing for those who have lost a loved one. The community watches as the case progresses. The details of alleged familial violence are particularly impactful. The charges reflect the seriousness with which the state views this crime. Second-degree murder carries a potential sentence of life imprisonment in Florida. The case serves as a somber reminder of the devastating consequences of gun violence. It also highlights the tragic potential for conflict within families. The legal proceedings will determine the guilt or innocence of the accused. They will have their day in court. Until then, they remain in custody. The justice system will follow its course. The outcome of this case will be closely watched. It involves complex issues of criminal responsibility, evidence, and the profound impact of violence on families and communities. The memory of Rae'quan Smith remains central to the proceedings. The legal process seeks accountability for his death. The charges stand as allegations until proven in court. However, the evidence presented by the investigation paints a compelling, albeit tragic narrative. The case continues to develop. Further details may emerge as it moves towards trial. The focus remains on the pursuit of justice for Rae'quan Smith. The legal system is now tasked with resolving this grave matter.